Alright, hey guys, it's Yeto back again here. Sorry if I sound a little tired. This is probably, I don't know, maybe actually like the fifth, sixth time I've tried uploading this with audio. So the game audio is coming in, but for whatever reason, uh, it's not picking up my Bluetooth headset as a mic. It is when I play it back in photos, but when I actually try to upload it, it just has the game audio. So I'm going to be trying to remember everything I went over and maybe just have a new take on, sort of what's going on within the game. So if you don't know, this is going to be primarily a Wild Rift channel, and the first video I posted was me hitting Master. So that was just kind of, to show how far I've come in this last year playing the game. And today we're going to be doing a VOD review on an ADC game where I played Tristana, and that's kind of new for me in the sense that it's a new role and a new champion. So we're going to be looking at the build first. Sorry, I have to actually pull this up. So this is the build. It's kind of a standard Tristana build, except Runan's Hurricane. I just picked that because I think it helps her team fighting immensely. So I'm not so limited to single target action. And, you can kind of just look at the runes in the items here, and it's nothing that deviates from what everybody else pretty much does, because this is a new champion, so I'm not too worried about runes and item build too much. I just kind of wanted to get something standard so I could get in the game, test her out in a live action game, not just messing around in item selection and picking out runes and summoner spells. And typically I don't just run heal and flash. Sometimes I run exhaust flash or ignite flash. I guess it depends on team comps or just, I guess, whatever I'm feeling, because all of them definitely have a use. Exhaust's range is pretty short, so it's kind of, I don't know, kind of difficult to play around. So you can see I start off with Storm Razor and then Static Shiv, Gluttonous Greaves, Infinity Edge, Immortal Reminder, and Runan's Hurricane. Not Immortal Reminder, Mortal Reminder, sorry. And then I have Adaptive, Conqueror, Vampirism, Adaptive Carpet, Carcass or Carpus, and then Sweet Tooth. And like I said, I'm running Flash and Heal, so soon we should get into the gameplay. Sorry this is so scuffed. I'm running this over again because I was doing the VOD review, obviously not live, but as it was going. So just bear with me for a moment here. But primarily this channel is just going to be based around gameplays and VOD reviews and seeing how to improve, and sometimes just having fun with the game. I guess we'll see where we go with this, because this is kind of my first time creating content for any game. So if there's anything I can improve upon, let me know in the comments. Also, going forth, if there's a lot better way to record and process everything and put it up on YouTube, just using an iPhone. I have an iPhone 11 right now, so everything that encompasses that. And I think we're going to be getting into the gameplay here soon, so I will, I guess, start going over a little bit more context, I guess. Sorry about this. Alright, so the reason I picked this game, actually, this is what I was going to say. The reason I picked this game was because I feel like a lot of times people sort of get caught up in elos and leads, and they don't realize that playing the game out to the end is always your best chance of winning, because giving up obviously just closes the door on you're kind of closing the door on yourself. And so in this game they didn't have a huge lead on us, but I kind of picked the win condition out and realized that it was really just ripping down turrets, supporting at objectives when it was reasonable to, not just jumping in because Shyvana goes in. And then our Caitlyn top lane, technically bottom because it's flipped, running solo. She was farming pretty well the whole game, so I decided to kind of just go down there and make sure that she could secure a lead, which in turn definitely did help us sort of put the game in the bag. And again, I feel like people get caught up too much in elo, and even you'll see in this game I make some pretty low elo mistakes in terms of just tunnel vision and letting sort of the circumstances get the best of me, not realizing that I've only played 15 games, but not just, being loose about it, just sort of hyper focusing on that. So I think here in the actual VOD review, I was going over the fact that their team had higher elo players, and that how that doesn't always matter, because we ended up coming back pretty hard. All of our team scales into the late game except Janna. That I know of. I main support, but I don't play Janna, and I've never really taken time to even bother learning her kit. So yeah, I guess here I was trying to show, there we go. So I was just showing the ranks, and that, comparatively their team is a little bit higher elo, but that doesn't matter. Just play the game out. That's how I learned to actually climb, was focusing on things I could control in the game, and not who I was up against, and the fact that sometimes I would have trolls on my team because everybody gets them. And that was another thing I had to realize that kind of put me at ease, was for every one time I get a troll, I see all these people in the comments talking about all their games are trolls, and that's why they're still stuck in gold. And maybe that's true, but you really just have to get out of that mindset and find your win count and work around it, because I've gotten a master in about a year, and I'm sure there's people who have gotten a challenger within a month of ever playing this game. But you know what, it's been a lot of work actually improving for me, and I'm sure it has for what I just mentioned, the fact that other people have done it in a shorter amount of time. But for me, this is kind of an achievement, because I've had a lot of troll games, and I've only had a duo partner maybe through a little bit of gold, and it wasn't really that consistent, and then part of emerald. But anyway, we're gonna get into this game here. So my camera control, I hope, is alright. I try and keep it zoomed in the laning phase, and then sort of work my way outwards to sort of more of an LCS view, kind of just like that, just fucking around with the camera controls, because I really have no idea what I'm doing in this role, in this on this champion, and just creating content. So I'm gonna try to stay loose and create some somewhat entertaining content, but honestly just content to improve upon. So to start off, we get some pretty good trades in, and then I miss my E there, and it's at that point it's just like back off. That's most of her damage when trading early on. So gonna grab that honey fruit. And what people don't realize is, if the ocean Drake is the one that changes, you know, the entire rift. That's a lot of passive gold coming in, like upwards of 1,000 gold per game, which, you know, could be the difference between another item halfway through the game, pretty much. Because it's usually within the first half that I'm even looking to pick it up. Otherwise, the rest of the time I'm just looking to secure objectives with Tristana, specifically turrets.
Top turret is under attack.
So, as you can see, they already are, you know, it's like you wouldn't say they're already picking up a lead in the sense that, you know, all this is like some sort of crazy lead where you can't come, you know, you can obviously come back from it. Why would this be a challenging game? Why would you pick this and say this was a challenging game? Well, as you could just see, they picked up 2 kills there. I made the mistake of going in, knowing that I was seeing some sort of activity in jungle and that most likely they could probably dive us. So, tunnel vision moment, it's a learning moment. Realize don't get frustrated, and just play to the best of your ability. So here, again, like I said with Tristana, I guess sort of my strategy has just been pushing the lane, grabbing as many towers as I can, obviously supporting my team in other aspects like team fights and objectives and things of that nature, and just generally pushing the lane regardless if I can get a tower or not. So that's what I'm doing here. And then this Shyvana jumps in and, you know, honestly, me and the support could have had a much better response, but and I'm not trying to damage control either here, but I just, they're kind of slippery. I mean, Jin's pretty easy to pick out, but with Seraphine and CC, you know, I didn't want to make any, I guess, overly risky moves, considering we're already behind, at least in my mind. Like I said, not just, or maybe I haven't said it yet, but if there's any advice you can give, sort of, on how to make better content, or, you know, sort of what to improve upon generally, like gameplay especially, because I main support, but it's the first time I'm trying out ADC, and I thought, well, this is kind of a smooth transition, or it should be a smooth transition, considering I play this lane all the time and I sort of understand how Tristana works, and, you know, obviously have a decent grasp on the game. So right now, again, it's not a huge deficit. Yeah, they're 4 kills up, but people always worry about kills. And, you know, we're only 1,000 gold behind. And we can catch up pretty fast here. Like getting turret bladings and just staying alive and farming. That's why I'm not doing anything too risky here. I'm still learning sort of the threshold with this champion, so when I get 2 items on her sometimes, when I get 2 items on her, sometimes I get a little bit ahead of myself. But anyway, this is sort of side commentary. So anyway, I'm going to be moving down to technically top lane here, but I'm going to just try and clean up what I can down here and get this Caitlyn to push her lane, or make it a little bit easier for her to do so. So
have slain
this
an
is
enemy.
part of where support has helped me, not just being in the same lane as the ADC, and that's all there is. That's all I've learned about bot lane. Bot lane, a lot of people don't know this, but honestly, bot lane's job should be to rotate as much as possible. Because if you think about it, it's like, oh, well, if one person leaves, they're just 1v2ing. Yeah, but you can just stay on their tower. I mean, you don't have to die. I've been pinged so many times. Oh, and like getting flamed in chat, like, oh, I died because of you. No, you could have stayed on the tower. I mean, if it's a duo where, say it's an Alistar, then okay, sure, I can understand
Ally slain.
not rotating like that unless it's a favorable time. But Jhin, Seraphine, they have high damage, but when you're under tower, you can sort of manage both of them to a certain extent. And it's just much more valuable playing around a lane that's already somewhat winning.
Enemy
I mean, until
destroyed.
Darius had the Rift Herald, Kate had Prio. She had more damage on the tower, better farm. So it just made more sense to me. And it's just that, small small moment where I just sort of sit back and look at the board and just sort of think to myself, well, she's probably most likely to get fed this game, considering she survived this long when the enemy team is getting fed, and they're dominating objectives. She somehow managed to survive and farm well, so might as well play around her. Not as necessarily, the win con 100%, but
Top turret is under attack.
so right here, we're just going to pick up a couple kills, push the lane, I believe. Maybe I back here for an item, I'm not sure.
You are on a killing spree.
Yeah, I think I'm going to push the lane here and grab this tower. Shyvana's going to come help me. This Shyvana has pretty good map awareness. Honestly, at first, I saw some of her movements and she looked like she didn't know what she was doing, but she came around, with that gank and rotating up here just to make sure this tower's secured, although I think I would have gotten it without her there. It's a nice safety net also, just to make sure I get it done in time and get out.
Enemy slain.
Yeah, so this this Caitlyn is she's not getting fed, but she's managing her lane very well. And just managing her time in general. Sort of staying aware of what distance we really have to sort of roam around, not overextending. Which is always something to look for, and who you're most likely to rotate to. It's not always the closest lane. I mean, yes, I could have rotated in mid on the way, but I think I had already backed and was heading towards Rift Herald, which I kind of knew was going to be gone, but
Enemy slain.
it's still worth rotating there because then I have an option to go to either mid or top. So I'm low on health here, but I'm just gonna pick up a couple minions and get my item, go back to base, get my item. I believe I grab a static shiv here. And sort of why I keep talking about WinCon, which I'll stop doing, is,
Middle turret is under attack.
I was watching Niece's coachings and sort of realizing how important that actually is to sort of assess that. Not just that, but the game overall.
Your team has slain the Rift Herald.
So I do recommend people go,
Killing
you know, look at
spree.
coachings, they're free. And gameplay reviews or VOD reviews kind of like this. Obviously, I'm not, you know, self-advertising my own VOD reviews or gameplays. I'm just talking about in general. That's sort of, I guess, something to look at. Yeah, sorry about the camera control part of this game. I think I was just too focused on commentating. I think what I need to do is just record sort of the gameplay or the playback, and then from there do commentary over, because otherwise I'm just sort of pulling myself in two different directions, which I'm not used to. It'll take me a minute. So right here, we're just going to pick up a kill. I'm not sure why Yasuo is down in our jungle. I think because he got an early lead, he's just kind of a little bit overconfident in himself, but who knows? He might have something different in mind, and it could be different factors with this team that are kind of making this go the opposite way of where it had begun, I guess. So I think I'm going to try and pick up this tower here. I don't know if we get it. Yeah, we do. Pretty easily, so that's the thing with Tristana. She just kind of tears down towers. Little to no problems. But yeah, I think part of this game too is like that Yasuo is Grandmaster, but he's not. He doesn't main mid, at least not right now. His preferred positions are, I think, somewhere bot lane. But I guess sort of why I brought that up is because all of their team were higher elo than our team comparatively, not per lane, like supports their support higher than ours or something like that, but overall they were just higher ranks, and it's similar elo across the board. So that's one of the things you have to remember is just like, okay, well, it could be a team full of emeralds, but I don't know how you come to the conclusion that you're going to lose against a team full of diamonds. I mean, essentially, the difference is so many odd games of experience and just continuing the climb, I guess. I mean, when I was in Emerald, for the life of me, I think I was stuck in like Emerald 3 in Season 5 or Season 4, and they automatically promoted me to Diamond 4, and I felt like I deserved it, and it was because of my performance, and I actually did get that, sort of big up promotion for my actual individual performance. But then after that, I just, kept moving back between Diamond 4 and Emerald 2, and I realized it's because I was too focused on rank. I actually played like a high, sort of a mid-Emerald player, and I expected myself to just be able to just get Diamond 1, just go on a winning streak, and I could actually do it because my performance was so good. But it was only that mindset when I was up. When I was down, it was like, why can't I just do this? What is holding me back? Well, there's a lot of technical aspects to the game that I wasn't seeing, and there was just an overarching sort of painting of the fact that
rank doesn't mean as much as people would like to think in this game. It's really just an experience difference and a threshold to deal with bullshit. Tolerate trolls and, you know, try your best every game, even though some people really don't care. And also realize your own shortcomings. So again, this game is just overall an example of what you can do regardless of the position here. And I'm not saying we came back from hell and we just made this crazy turnaround, but there's definitely lessons to be learned. Just because you're in a, you know, sort of losing position early on, or at any point in the game, but especially early on, there is plenty of time to come up with a way to put the game in the bag. And even if you still lose, I could say to myself, well, I was tunnel visioning, I didn't position correctly in this game. I didn't get off my combo right in this team fight, which actually could have secured us a double kill to start off, and then we wouldn't have had such a hard time and, you know, actually ended up losing the fight. So there's a lot of different aspects to look at. Try your best not to drown in the specifics and, you know, just play the game out. I don't think we decided to go for Baron here. I think that's just, you know, not because we're overconfident and we're just like, oh, whatever. No, we do go for Baron, okay. I don't think we needed to. Not because it's always a good idea to secure it anyway if you're gonna decide to siege the base, but I don't think it was important enough to sort of squabble over. Not that we did, but, you know, if there was a fight, honestly, we could have just ran down the base while they were distracted with getting Baron, and we would have won. So, but anyway, that was today's gameplay review, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
Victory!